All right, Nick Houston here for Gotham Sound and Communications with Marc Wilson from Glensound from across the pond. How you doing, Mark?
I'm great. It's great to see you, Nick. Great to be here in Vegas.
Great. Yes. Thanks for being here. It's very good to see you too. So we're here with Mark Glensound, one of the names in Dante networking. We've got a bunch of products to show off. So the first thing we have to show is the GTM. First off, I noticed Product of the Year nominee. What does that mean?
Well, they're looking for what's a new and interesting product that's added something that hasn't been seen before, done it in a better way, and is worthy of closer scrutiny by the award committee to see if you fit the brief of Product of the Year. So we're very excited about that because we think our new GTM it does offer a lot of new functionality in the gaming world that's not been seen before. Because
So yeah, tell us, what does it do?
well, we've maybe done about 7 esports tournaments over the last few years, provided the equipment for them for the gaming interfacing. We've used actually our standard intercom products, which have worked well, but they weren't fit for purpose. So that allowed us to learn what was actually required for the job for an esports tournament. So we've put 3 key areas that were generally managed separately into one device that can be used by the gamers, it can be used by the coaches, it can be used by the referees. You can also use it for the announcers, which makes the whole event a lot simpler to put together from the integrator or production side. So we call it GTM because this is the headphone mixer for the user. It's the game audio, the team mix, and their own voice into their headsets. So this is the 3 pots here. Now, importantly, the game audio, we have multiple sources of where the game audio comes from. There are different tournaments that use different machines, PC, PlayStation, Xbox. So the inputs for the game audio are different. So on GTM, you can have Toslink,
So wait, let's see.
on the back. So
Okay.
we've got Toslink on the back. We've got USB. You can take the audio direct in from USB. We've got an 1/8-inch mini jack if you want to take it as a line analog audio input. Then we have some multi-channel inputs as well. On Dante, because it's a Dante AES67 device, PoE powered, we can take 5 stereo channels from Dante.
Okay.
Normally you would only use 1 stereo channel, but the others are there if there may be future reasons for a specific tournament why multiple inputs might be required. There is a control software that allows you to generate the mix and create the mix, which we can look at. Then we can also take an SDI input and we can de-embed the game audio from SDI. You've got access to 4 stereo pairs on SDI, which again you can mix together within the software control if you wish. And the SDI is looped out, so you can take the SDI out to monitoring or whatever. So there are multiple sources for monitoring on the back. Although you can select the source on the back via the software control, these can all be locked out from the user if required. So there are security functions within the system. So that's the game audio that comes up on the game pot here. Now for the team, we generate the team mix. Within the control software, you say this is team 1, this is box 1. So it's defined, and we use that information to create a team mix that's shared amongst all the boxes. Normally it's 6 or 7 players of the team plus their coach, and that is the team mix. We generate the mix, you can adjust the levels within the software, and that all comes up to the user on this pot here. These pots are all controllable remotely as well, so an engineer can control these levels, but the gamer can adjust them themselves as well. Then this is just their own voice.
So it's a side tone.
This is side
tone. Great. And I noticed you've got a couple of different headset inputs as well.
Well, this is the third challenge that we had to give new features that have not been seen before. So here we have 2 headphone amplifiers. One is on a TRRS as a gaming headset, such as we have here. Then we have a mini jack and a full-size jack plug for the headphones. They're addressed separately. Now, the reason we do that is because within eSports, between the games, typically they would have a gaming headset and a larger over-ear headset. between games, they would put white noise into the over-ear headset, so the gamer can't hear what's happening in the stadium. Because typically in the stadium, the announcers will be talking about the game and tactics, what's happening, and the gamers are not supposed to get any advantage about hearing what's happening.
Okay.
So typically they would have these over-ear headphones where white noise is. So within our device, tournament rules do state that you should have, a lot of tournament rules state that you should have these two headsets. We can have two headsets and address them separately so that game audio comes out of one and white noise will come out of the other. So you can have the headsets, because if this is designated a referee's box, which it can be, pressing the top button here will turn the white noise on for all of the players, both teams. So it gives the referee control of the white noise activation. Obviously, because we have two inputs, we can do the two headsets, but we can also do it on one. So you can put that white noise on the gaming output as well, so they're together. So you would only actually need to wear one pair of headphones, one headset. At the moment, the tournament rules don't allow that because nobody has offered this functionality before. But we're expecting that may change in some tournaments as this starts getting rolled out.
So, out of curiosity, because I'm not really familiar with the gaming world, how many boxes would be used in, say, one tournament?
A tournament would typically be 15 units, maybe. So you have two teams of 6. Each team has a coach.
Okay.
Plus there's a referee.
Got it. Okay.
So that's 15. Now, if you want the stadium announcers, the arena announcers to be on as well, maybe another box or two for the arena announcers. But for the actual tournament itself, you're probably looking at 15 units.
Okay. Got it. Let me open this up to questions.
Okay.
Joe, do we have any questions about the GTM?
Can it be used by eSports commentator?
Okay. So you can see here, this is the configuration for the buttons. So we have the two buttons here. So you can set the Me button. Me, that's your main program mic. That can be set in multiple modes. Momentary latching as a cough button, so it's on and a cough is a mute. Always on, always off. Or our intelligent mode, which is a short press, locks it, but a longer press is momentary. And you can set in a typical way, if you're using the second one as a talkback, that if you press the talkback, you see here it mutes me. So if you press talkback, it will mute your on-air mic. So they would effectively work as a talkback arrangement. They can be configured to work like that, yes.
Got it. Okay.
Which we would expect it, if it was being used by announcers in the stadium, they would probably need a talkback function like that.
Cool. All right, let's move on down to the Beatrice PM4.
Yes.
I like this one. Go ahead.
Well, this is very typical of a lot of Glensound products where it looks fairly simple. On the surface, it looks a fairly straightforward, simple device, but there's actually a lot more going on underneath than is obvious. So this is a 4-channel paging mic. It's Dante AES67. It's PoE, single cable connection. Quite simply, if you need to page a particular zone, you hit it. There is a configurable bing bong, which we have here.
I really like that.
You can turn that off. You don't have to have it, but it is there. We can also, that was zone 1. Quite simply, if you want to page to multiple zones, you just press them in turn. I'm now paging 3 zones there. They will flash while the bing bong's happening, and they go solid when the bing bong's finished to know you're good to go. You can hear as well, these are up reasonably loud. You're just picking me up on that speaker there. Go ahead. These are maybe adjusted. We'll take it up to, that's just on the edge of ringing there. So we, from work we've had with other major government bodies, many years ago we developed quite a sophisticated frequency shifter. We've put that frequency shifter on here, so it dramatically reduces the onset of when howl feedback arrives. So in any situation where there may be speakers nearby, I mean, I can hear myself coming through the back of that speaker now, and there's no indication of any ringing. And if I was up here, it's quite loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's a key function. Also, it's a four output device, but the PM4 does actually have 4 inputs as well. those inputs are IFBs effectively. They will loop straight to the outputs. So that means you can use this in line of a signal. So if you're sending audio somewhere, background audio, program audio, whatever it may be, to this device, it's just in line, and then when you're hitting a button, you are talking over that. It mutes it, you say your thing, and when you stop, it will revert back to the audio. So it's got that as a standard function. It's a very small box. The actual controls for the mic are on the bottom for the gain, just to keep them out of the way so that people don't play with them, because typically it'd be non-technical people with this. And on the rear we have GPIOs as well. So any interfacing with a foot switch, or you need to switch any lighting or control some muting, you can do that from the device as well. So that's new at NAB, the PM4.
So the obvious implications for us as doing film and television would be if you need to communicate with talent in other places. So I've done a lot of reality television work. So if you've got multiple hosts that have earpieces in, and a producer needs to talk to them or prompt them or however, you can have one button for each person, and it's cool that you could send them program audio and then interrupt it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that they can hear that, but then you can also send the same thing to all 4 people if you want.
Yep.
Rather than having different microphones or different things or however. It's just a very simple box.
Yes.
Great.
It's most of our devices are based on the interface aspect for the user being simple.
Got it.
Broadcasters, as you know, the last thing they need to be thinking about or anyone worrying about is the equipment. It just needs to be straightforward.
Right.
It just needs to work.
And obviously this also could be used with the Bing Bong. I'm sorry, I'm going to do it again. Would be pretty useful for theaters and museums and things like that.
Yeah, those sort of applications for sure. Yeah.
I'm going to quickly highlight that this D-Vine is now in white, because we sell a lot of these D-Vines, and it's a great Dante speaker.
It's been a phenomenal success for us, the Divine. We're looking at doing an upgraded unit at some point in the future. That's an exclusive comment for you, with a few extra features. But it's still. I wish we could make more of them, because the world component issue is fighting against us at the moment. But it's been real great. We've won a few awards for it as well, because again, it offered a lot of unique functionality that hadn't been available previously, with being able to set the interrupts for different inputs, with being able to group them so you can have one control to control many speakers. Certainly had some very neat and innovative functions.
Cool. All right, so let's slide over. I thought this was pretty cool. Tell us about the Styx.
Well, the Styx is very interesting, and again, looks fairly simple from the front, but there's an awful lot going on. The Styx is a Dante AES67 mixer. If I run through the I/O, which gives the best indication of what it's doing, on the rear we have 6 analog inputs and 6 analog outputs. There are 2 digital inputs and outputs. We have 3 mic inputs, 3 headphone outputs, and then the rest of the channels are Dante inputs and Dante outputs, of which there are 13, 14, 15 of the different types. All of that I/O can be mixed and routed in any combination. There's software control, our Glen controller, Windows control. You can set the mix grouping. So you can select an output. If you select Dante output 1, you can say, right, Dante output 1, I'm going to pick mic input 1, mic input 2. You can set a mix level on the software for those. Then you can say, I'm going to take a Dante input channel that I want to put in that mix with the 2 commentators as well, like an international sound feed, for example. And you've then got a full program output of commentators plus an international sound. Now, the interesting thing, you've created that mix, but we have here 24 buttons and pots. So I can say, okay, the inputs I want to put on a pot, and per input I can assign pot 1 to button pot 1, input 2 to pot 2. So then levels are adjustable here, and I can say, okay, 4 I want to be the output of that mix. So then you assign that pot as the output, and that's the output of that group.
And this button is essentially activating and deactivating
Yeah, that's
that
on and
channel.
off.
Mm-hmm.
That's an on and off. So I'm giving an example of assigning it to a pot.
Mm-hmm.
It could equally be just a switched mixer, and you could assign multiple inputs to each button, and you just turn them on and off from the front.
And you've got enough knobs here that you could do many, many mixes.
Yeah, many
depending on what you're
mixes,
up to.
and it can perform different functions at the same time. Because down this end, you might be just trimming some inputs. This bit, you might be monitoring, etc. You can use it for multiple reasons per the capacity that you have.
Got it. Peter, do you have any questions about these things? Peter's kind of he's the Dante guru at Gotham.
Glensound make so many boxes that solve so many problems. So definitely check out our website, check out Glensound's website. So many headphone boxes, little microphone boxes, intercom boxes, so much great stuff. Yep.
Yeah, these little headphone boxes are super cool. These little PoE monitoring stations.
Yeah, this one, the Virgil, is just a 2-channel Dante headphone amp. In terms of volume, numbers we sell, that's our most popular product.
Interesting.
We sell so many of those Virgils, really, because it's low cost and it will put a stereo headphone position
anywhere,
easily anywhere. Yeah.
Right, PoE and all that.
PoE,
so between the Virgil and the Divine, you can get monitoring wherever you want.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, great. Joey, do we have any other questions or comments from the internet?
No further questions.
Before you sign off, sorry. And then there's all kinds of throwdown PoE data analog converters, and crucially, almost all of that stuff you guys can make in 12 volts. I mean, at least that we've needed.
Yeah, it's quite common, particularly on our. We have a lot of audio interfacing, audio I/O boxes of different sizes, analog, some are AS digital. Most of those, the larger rack ones, have 2 power supplies. So typically it's a twin AC, but it's quite common, particularly for people in the TV world, to request that one of those inputs be a 12 volt DC input. Right. So we can do that. It's a no cost option. If you'd like one of the power supplies to be a 12 volt DC, we can do that. So on the device, you'd then have one mains AC supply and one 12 volt DC input.
Got it. And this is specifically, and I'm going to just show Peter here because he's kind of prompted me from behind the scenes, but this would be specifically for a sound card if you are rolling on a PC that has Dante, or a Mac that has Dante, or a sound device is 970, Scorpio 888, Diva 24 with Dante, any of those like portable Dante interfaces. That would be a way to get more analog channels or digital channels into your recorder. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of 12 volt Glensound interfaces on engineers' sound cards around the world. Yeah.
And the thing that I know you like, Peter, is that what a lot of people will do is they'll take a rack of wireless microphones, and a lot of wireless microphones only have analog out, and they'll put the wireless microphone rack on set and then run a cable back 100, 200, 300 feet back to the cart so that everything's modular and you get better reception with things on set, but the mixer can be far away. And that's one of our use cases.
Okay,
yeah?
great.
Okay, great. Anything else you want to add, Pete? No, that's it. Okay, great. Anything else you want to add, Mark?
No, I'm great. I'd just like to say it's great to see you. It's wonderful that you're here and doing this for your customers to show what we're doing. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, for making the trip. So stay tuned for more stuff from NAB. You can watch this video and more at gothamsound.tv. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, you can email us with any questions, comments, or concerns, info@gothamsound.com. Thank you very much.